Daily Market Briefing. Tech earnings, macroeconomic data, and policy announcements.
Before we begin, please support the channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Constructive discussion is always welcome, and we invite you to share your views and insights in the comments.
This video presents a direct informational narration of the source document.
Here's the outline of the source document. Section 1 covers the Nvidia Q2 earnings review. Section 2 looks at software sector breakouts. Section 3 shifts to macro data, specifically the PCE and the Fed. Section 4 discusses chip valuations and earnings. Section 5 covers big tech future roadmaps. And Section 6 concludes with policy and retail surprises.
Section 1, Nvidia Q2 earnings review. The source document details Nvidia's second quarter results, highlighting $96.2 billion in revenue, which represents a 106% increase year-over-year. Data center revenue was a primary driver, coming in at $89.0 billion, up 117%. Adjusted EPS reached $2.22, a 120% year-over-year gain. Notably, the source points out that capital commitments expanded significantly to $27.9 billion. Looking ahead, third quarter revenue guidance is set at $18.0 billion.
Section 2, Software Sector Breakouts.
Shifting to the software sector, the text notes several specific breakouts. OCIN reported $14.3 billion in revenue, an 11% year-over-year increase, with third quarter guidance between $14.1 billion and $14.5 billion. SEZ, a cybersecurity giant, posted $1.47 billion in revenue, growing 26% year-over-year with an EPS of 31 cents. Additionally, an unnamed software firm recorded $805 million in revenue alongside a backlog of $4.858 billion.
Section 3, Macro, PCE and Fed.
On the macroeconomic front, the document starts by noting the oil market's reaction to reports that 80 to 150 naval mines are being cleared in the Strait of Hormuz. Turning to domestic policy, it outlines findings from the July PCE report and sets expectations for Jackson Hole discussions. According to Goldman Sachs, there are three expected themes for the Federal Reserve: reaffirming the 2% inflation target via the PCE, refining their communication strategy, and addressing macro themes like AI productivity, taking into account upcoming statistical methodology changes.
The source specifically highlights risk assessments tied to the 10-year Treasury yield. While a yield of 4.5% is identified as a warning sign, 5.0% is framed as the critical threshold. The document notes that reaching this 5.0% mark could potentially trigger a 10% market correction.
Section 4, Chip Valuations and Earnings.
Next, the document examines upcoming earnings tests, focusing on Marvell's valuation dynamics. It observes that Marvell is currently trading at a valuation more than double that of industry peers like Broadcom and Nvidia. The text indicates that robust earnings performance will be necessary to digest this premium.
Looking at the analyst stance on Marvell, the source reports 24 buy ratings out of 29, with an average target price implying roughly a 19% premium. It also mentions an anticipated focus on updates regarding their Google TPU partnership.
Section 5, Big Tech Future Roadmaps.
Moving to corporate roadmaps, the document details developments across several major players. It reports that Synopsys achieved $2.48 billion in third quarter revenue. For Meta, the text outlines a $16.7 billion teen safety settlement, the implementation of 10-year protection measures, and an upcoming consumer AI rollout.
Regarding Apple, the document discusses specific claims about their product pipeline for the September 9th Surprise and Shine event. This includes the iPhone 18 Max and the introduction of their first foldable iPhone with an estimated price of $2,500. The source notes aggressive shipment projections targeting a 40% foldable market share by 2027.
Section 6, Policy and Retail Surprises.
Concluding with micro-level and policy updates, the source breaks down a $1.55 billion U.S. rare earths funding package. This consists of a $750 million equity investment, $500 million in debt financing, and a $300 million procurement contract for USAR. The text observes that despite goals for supply chain independence, the market response for USAR remained muted.
In the retail sector, the document reports Abercrombie & Fitch's second quarter earnings, noting sales of $1.267 billion, a 4.84% year-over-year increase,
and an adjusted EPS of $4.17. This resulted in a 36% stock surge, though the text adds that the stock remains 24% below its mid-2024 peak of $197.
The source concludes by characterizing this as a rare, post-earnings surge in the apparel sector, setting the stage to observe Nvidia's broader market impact.